Salutations, students. That squirrel is still scampering all over the school with the dog chasing behind. But we've devised a plan to let me say more. This chapter is called Angel, the fifth grade corn snake. And you may want to read with me. Sassafras. Isn't that an absolutely delicious sounding word? I simply love saying sassafras. Society also has succulent syllables, as does suspicious. The society I'm in Mrs. Shaughnessy's fifth grade classroom. Suspicious is how outsiders sometimes react to me because I'm a snake. They say I'm sneaky, and slithery, and I have slimy skin. Sneaky and slithery, yes, but stroke my skin and see I'm not the slightest bit slimy. I have no fangs, no venom. I'm a simple orange and black red snake as long as a fifth grader is tall. Mrs. Shaughnessy's syllabus is history. Sassafras history is such an interesting subject. Besides being an amusing thing for a snake to say history. After class, I'm somewhat solitary. A squirrel sometimes peeks in the window, but he slinks down as soon as he spies me. Doesn't he know he's too substantial a mouthful for a snake my size to swallow? Once a week, I mostly a frozen mice supplied by Mrs. Shaughnessy. 6 out of 7 days I could be safe, associate with all the other class pets, including the albino rat, who sometimes scurries past my doorway fast, as though suspecting I would feast on him. It must be nice to have sensitive fingers to unfasten one's cell, and one wishes to explore the school's silent halls. So I was pleased one after school noon when a ruckus spilled down the hall and into Mrs. Shaughnessy's classroom. My tongue tasted a shift in the atmosphere. The squirrel and the rat burst in the scene, along with a hamster, an excellent word, and a rabbit. From the hall came the sounds of a dog snarling. "Leave me alone, it has nothing to do with you," while the parrot squawked, "Oi, oi, keep away." In the classroom, the hamster saw me and squeaked, "Yikes, this is the fifth grade, where the snake lives. Snake equals danger." The squirrel tried to skedaddle and shove the rabbit, who stood betwixt him and the door. But the rabbit snapped, "The snake's locked up, but the dog isn't. You're safer in here." So the squirrel hastened for higher ground instead. Up the window blinds he scurried through and swayed beneath his weight and smacked against the glass. From there it was a short distance to the long narrow tube above the blackboard where the historic maps are scrolled. The squirrel paced back and forth above medieval Europe and Renaissance cities. From the hallway, we caught occasional glimpses of the dog as he sprinted from classroom to classroom, trying to escape the parrot's beak. For some reason, I could not discern, the dog was throwing a fish tank on a push cart, and from the slight distance, a sociable but slow-moving voice called down the hall, "Hey guys, don't move so fast." In Mrs. Shaughnessy's classroom, the nervous hamster ran around in circles and said, that turtle carries her shell around with her for protection. Protection against dogs, protection against snakes. Could we make some sort of a shell for Twitch? The rabbit was looking at the shelves where Mrs. Shaughnessy kept my supplies, including a large, lidless snake transport box. The rabbit suggested, or a shell to cover the dog. I deciphered the rabbit's scheme. I myself do not like dogs. who snip and snarl and sometimes eat a poor, harmless snake who has no poison to protect himself, so I said I could help. The squirrel had misstepped and was dangling from the cord that lowers the maps. How? He asked. By eating me before the dog has a chance to? I've had my frozen mouse this week, I said. My stomach is satisfied till Tuesday. They all said, yuck. Set me free, I said. I'll distract the dog while some of you push the snake transport box off the shelf. Time just right, it could tip over on top of him and hold him safe from eating any of us. I would never be so discourteous as to snack on schoolmates, except perhaps on Tuesdays. Besides, history teaches us that we are stronger as allies. Allies, the rat repeated, like fish in a school. Trust, I encouraged him. The rat, fearless, steadfast rat, scurried up to my enclosure and shoved the screen aside. Just then the dog ran in, still attached to his cart and snarling, "Where's that less than worthless squirrel?" The squirrel tried to scamper back up the cord, unscrolling the Renaissance cities till Florence was on the floor. The blue and the gold macaw flew into the classroom and squawked, "Senor Dog on the loose, so move your caboose." Everyone, to your places, pretend you are at the races. No one told the bird her meter was off. I slithered onto the floor. Seeing me, the dog startled in reverse. If he could have scaled up the fish cart, I suspect he would have. He didn't notice the squirrel, the rat, the hamster climb onto the shelf and begin shoving the snake transport carton. The macaw saw and went to their support. The box moved closer and closer to the edge of the shelf. I hissed, poisoning as furious, causing the dog to back up closer and closer to the overhanging shelf. The rabbit thumped her back leg, and the vibration was the last assistant that suspended the receptacle needed. Over the edge, snake transport tipped, showering pine shavings all over. But the fit of our timing was flawless. The box landed just so to trap the dog, but not the cart inside. "Sassafras," I said. Do you guess who I am? I am Mr. Ross. All right. I hope you enjoyed this chapter in the 5th grade corn snake. And thanks for listening. It's been my pleasure to read it to you as an old retired teacher. It's been fun.